What are motion graphics? To put it simply, the reason why people use them is because it adds a little personal branding and character to their videos, and there is a really high demand for it in the market. So this is your time to make good use of it. In this video, I will teach you step by step how to make these motion graphics. You can pretty much make them in an hour and sell it online. Cool thing about this is that you don't need any money to start off, unlike dropshipping or any other business models. All you need is knowledge and experience, and you can literally create something from scratch and start selling it online. People pay up to 50 to 125 USD for these motion graphics. Okay, so first off, we're going to go to After Effects, and you should have a similar window like this. We're going to click on New Composition. You can basically name this whatever you want. I'm just going to name it YouTube Animation. Make sure your width and height is set to 1920 by 1080. Frame rate by 60 or 30 frames, it doesn't really matter. Now make sure your background is transparent. By making it transparent, you click on this icon right here, and now you have transparency. Okay, so first off, we're gonna make a rectangle, and we're just gonna make a white rectangle over here. There, that looks perfect. We're just gonna adjust this a bit. Now the next thing is we're gonna create a small subscribe button over here. Now to do that, we're gonna go to the rectangle tool again and make sure this isn't selected so you don't add a mask or anything, and make sure to change the color, and we're gonna go with the YouTube color. I'll leave the color code in the description if you guys need. And then we're just gonna create like a small box right here. All right, that looks good. We're gonna center it over here. Okay, that looks perfect. Now you're gonna take your profile picture. So for this example, I'm just gonna use my own, which is this one. Resize it and just basically center it right about here. Oh yeah, and the reason why it looks blurry is because I forgot to turn this thing to full. There, now it looks much better. Okay, so now we're gonna have a little circle so it blends in with the white color. To do that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back up here to the rectangle tool and go to Ellipse tool, and we're just gonna drag over it just like that. Make sure it's not too big. There, now that looks perfect. Now it doesn't look perfect, but I'll get into that a bit later. For now, we have a bunch of stuff laying around here, and we need to rename everything to make it more easier to understand. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the track meta and we're gonna track it to our profile picture. Okay, I missed a step. We're gonna go down to the meta and we're going to track it to the PFP background. There, now that looks perfect. Also, another thing I would like to do is just give this box a bit more character. So we're going to go click on the drop down menu, go to rectangle, go to rectangle path 1, increase the roundness of it, and we're going to set that to 60. That gives it that roundness. We're also going to do the same with the subscribe background. So rectangle 1, path 1, and the roundness. All right, perfect. Now that we have all those out of the way, it's time to add the text. So we're going to go up here next to the pen tool, which is text. We're going to type in Zoo Dark Pixel, which is my channel name. Change the color to black, and we're just going to align it, make it a bit smaller. Make sure to press shift so it doesn't look disgusting. Make sure to put it next to your channel so it looks perfect. Alright, so the font I'm using now is Maki Supa. I'll leave the download link in the description so you guys can download it. Another thing to note is that you can also change the background color at any time. So what I can do is go up to fill and basically just change it to the gray color of YouTube, which is this. Again, I'll leave this color code in the description. The reason why I choose this color is because I want my text to be white, and this background color just works wonders with it. So if I resize my text a bit, change it to up here, I actually want to add another text beneath it, which is the subscriber count. I'm sure you guys are a bit familiar with it. So currently we have like 100 subscriber. So I'm just going to put 105. And obviously we're going to make this a bit smaller. There, just like that. That looks better. Perfect. Now we're going to add the subscribe text. Alright, I think that looks pretty decent. Okay, so now we're going to create a null object because we want to move everything together instead of separately dragging the text around. So what we can do is right click here, click on new, and where's null? Over here. Now we're going to name this controls because it's quite literally is. And we're going to shift click all these and parent it to controls. Now when we go down here to transform and click on the position key, we can animate this entire thing basically. So you guys can see we can literally move the whole thing around. We're going to create a keyframe, and then we're going to go 10 seconds or let's just say a minute or something. It doesn't really matter. And we're going to create another keyframe. Now we're going to go back and we're going to go down, bring this down, and then boom. It's very simple. Just like that, it's animated. So as you see, it looks very dull. So what we can do is highlight these two keyframes and click on F9, or you can right click on keyframe assistant and easy in. Now that looks a bit smoother, but we can take it a step further. Open the graph editor right here. Make sure you selected the speed graph graph. And now we can click on this and move it all the way here. Essentially, this is going to change the velocity of it, and it's going to speed it up at the start and it's going to slow down slowly. So it creates that nice instant effect. You can mess around and even try doing it slow to fast, so it will look something like this, but it doesn't really fit with me. So I'm just going to do the speed first and then the slow. There, that looks perfect. And we're going to go towards the end of it and create a keyframe. We go a little bit forward, another keyframe, and we can just drag it down just like that. As you see, it doesn't really fit, so I'm just going to change it in the graph editor. And this time, instead of fast to slow, we're going to do it slow to fast, because it makes sense, right? In and out. Alright, perfect. Okay, so now it's time to edit all the text and profile and subscribe button and everything. So firstly, we're going to animate the profile picture. So we're going to go down to our profile picture right here, and we're going to move the timeline to when the box is slowly coming up. So right about there, we're going to drop this down so we can see the timeline. We're going to go to transform, scale, and rotation. We're going to go a bit forward, create another set of keyframes for the scale and rotation, and we're going to go back. We're going to make sure that scale is set to 0 and rotation set to -15. So now if you play it back, okay, now it looks dull. And again, we're going to select the keyframe, press on F9, easy in, and we're going to open the graph editor. And I know this looks a bit intimidating, but let's select the scale and then it should show this. Same thing as what we've done before, fast to slow. So we're going to click this, drag it like that, drag this a bit back. There, okay, now scale is done. Now we need to work on rotation. Basically, just do the same thing for the rotation. Okay, now that's a bit messed up. Okay, now that looks perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we're going to animate the text. So for the text, it's going to be very easy. We're going to click on our text here, go to transform, position and opacity, go a little bit forward. We're going to basically set the opacity to 0 and then the position a little bit down, but actually like this, opacity 0. Now it has that nice pop-in effect. Obviously, we're going to change this a bit as well. Easy in, F9, open the graph editor, go to position first. This time, let's do slow to fast. See how it looks. Okay, never mind. I'm just going to do fast to slow. Okay, same thing for the opacity. Perfect. Now to save some time, we're going to copy this keyframe for our subscriber text. There. Now it looks a bit weird, but it's okay. We can just change the anchor point over here to down here, the anchor point in the scale, and perfect. It looks pretty decent. Now I'm just going to change the keyframe a bit later so it doesn't look very sudden. Same thing with the name. We're going to move it to here. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to move on to the subscribe. So very simple. We're going to have a sort of open and close animation to the subscribe button to make it more aesthetic. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to track the meta for the subscribe text to the subscribe background and make sure the subscribe background is checked because it does turn it off. So essentially what this does is when the text is very big, it stays in that box. So we're going to go to the subscribe background. We're going to go to content, rectangle path 1, and we're going to keyframe the size. We're going to set this keyframe back to when the text is almost appearing. So we're going to go a bit forward, add another keyframe, and we're going to go back. We're going to close this box completely. Actually, just set that to 0. Okay, so now it looks very slow and very dull. So we're just going to move this keyframe back. We're going to set it to easy ease. We're going to go to the graph editor, and for the size, we're just going to make it more smoother. So we're going to drag this all the way back. Okay, now that's perfect. We're going to move this a bit back. There. Now that's perfect. Okay, so the only thing that's bothering me is the text, how it instantly pops in. So we're going to go around to this area and we're going to click on the subscribe text. We're going to go to opacity and we're going to go a bit forward to when the text is fully open, create another keyframe. I'm going to go back, set it to 0. Let's see how that looks. Okay, but we can add a bit of animation. Easy in, graph editor, and drag this all the way back so it has a speed effect. Okay, now that's too fast. We're going to drag it around here. Perfect. If you guys want to add extra sauce to your motion graphics, then listen to this bonus tip. So you're going to go on YouTube and search a mouse clicking green screen. And my personal favorite is this video right here. So I'm going to download this video. Shout out to his channel, by the way. Go on and subscribe to him. we're going to use an MP4 converter to download it. So if you don't know how to do that, I'll just link this below as well. Anyways, back to After Effects. We're going to drag the green screen in here, and we're going to move to where the button animates in, right here. Just resize this a bit. Now search up key light in your effects and presets and drag it to the green screen. Click on the pen tool and click right here. So we're going to go to where the mouse clicks, and we're going to drag that all the way to here. Okay, perfect. So it kind of looks a bit null just clicking on the button. So what we're going to do is add a bit of pop-up animation to the subscribe button. So we're going to go to the subscribe background right here. So we're going to go to the rectangle path 1 and go to the size, and we're going to keyframe this. So here's where he clicks. So we're going to click a keyframe here. We go 3 frames forward, another keyframe. We're going to go 3 more frames forward, and final keyframe. We're going to go to the middle keyframe here, and we're going to change the scale to, let's say, 442. We can change that a bit more, so 440. So let's review the whole thing. So now we're pretty much finished with this simple YouTube motion graphics. So now to create this into a MoGRT, all you have to do is go to the Essential Graphics tab over here. And if you don't have this, you can always go up to Windows and Essential Graphic. Now we're going to go to primary here and select it to YouTube animation, which is our current composition. So first of all, we're going to drag in the text so we can edit it. So we're going to go to the text here, go to text, source text, and we're going to drag it here. Now here's where you can change the name. So let's say I change it to channel name there. And this is where you can note. So this is where you can put the descriptions to what this thing is for. So I'm just going to say, put your channel name here. And you can also do the same for the subscribe count. Go to the drop down menu, go to text, source text, drag it here, and we're going to change this to subscriber count. So if you want, you can literally change it to, like, let's say 1,000 subscribers there. And you can always adjust this, by the way. And what's something even crazier is, so you can even change the picture. So we're going to give this a name called YouTube Animations. And you're going to want to click on Export Motion Graphics Template. Click on Save, and then finally click on OK. That should give you this error, which, yes, just... Okay, so we should be able to do the export of the MoGRT right now. Alright, so it's exporting right now. Okay, so now that we go into Premiere Pro, go to the Essential Graphics tab. Most people don't know how to import MoGRTs. You don't import it from projects or by file and import. You need to open the folder where you saved your MoGRT. So for me, I saved it right here, YouTube Animate MoGRT, and you want to drag that into the Essential Graphics tab. Now let's have a solid color so that we can create a sequence. Okay, so now it's in our timeline. So as you can see, there's nothing wrong with it. So basically, if you click on this, so as you see, put your channel name here. We're going to name it back to our own channel name, which is Kazoo Dark. And we can also tweak around the subscriber count. And heck, we can even change the profile picture. So let's say I want to change the profile from this to this cute little husky here. All you have to do is click on this 3-line menu here and click on Replace from Finder. I'm currently using Mac, so for you guys it should be from folder or something. Now I'm going to go to where I saved it right here. I'm going to click on Open, and there you go. As you see, the husky is right there. So this is how you basically create a motion graphic and export it into a MoGRT so you guys can create it over and over again. Now the cool thing with this is that you can basically sell it on Fiverr and tell people you can make them this, and all you have to do is just come into your Adobe Premiere Pro and just change the name of their channel and the subscriber count or whatever, and within 2 minutes you already have it ready. Now to make this a step further, we can add sound effects and make it much more better. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, just leave a comment and like the video. It will really help me out a lot. And yeah, that's it for the tutorial. See you in the next video.